Well, Grant, why don't you take us into series prices?
The NBA playoffs are getting started this weekend, and Tanner and I are here to break down our entire first round picks. We are recording this on Friday, so we don't know who the 8 seeds are going to be. However, if you are subscribed to the channel, you will have seen we put out our picks video. We picked the Hornets to beat the Magic, and we picked the Warriors to beat the Suns. So those are the 8 seeds that we are expecting. If you guys want to be in tune for great content like that, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are going to the moon. Hit the like button. That's the #1 way to support us. But let's talk about these series that we do know. So let's start over in the Eastern Conference, which I feel like the Eastern Conference might not win the finals, but I feel like it's the more competitive side in this first round. The Western Conference first round, for the most part, is kind of just like a open and shut case. I think you might get some competition out on the East. But let's start with, I don't want to do the 1 seed because we don't know that it is the Hornets, even though I feel confident it will be. Let's talk about your team. Let's talk about Boston. So Boston is going against the Philadelphia 76ers. Back maybe a few weeks ago, you would ask me who were the biggest challenges to the Celtics. I said, genuinely, I thought it was the Hornets because of how similar they are in the way that they play. And then I said, you really have to watch out for the 76ers as well because they've been so volatile. The 76ers absolutely cannot win the finals this season. No shot. But like they are just so good when they're on and so bad when they're off that they could win a series. They could upset somebody. Do I think they're going to do it? Ultimately, no. But as the Celtics fan on the show, how do you feel about going against Philly in the first round?
I feel fine. I mean, Philly and Boston always have competitive matchups, but, when you look at what Boston should be able to do in this series, they have Jason Tatum, they have Jaylen Brown, you have Derek White, you have Peyton Pritchard, like there's so many more prominent names. Now, Tyrese Maxey can go off at any time and then you're in trouble. Like he can change games and we've seen that happen so many times. But with that being said, the Celtics are too deep. And you got to take care of business early. That's the problem with what happened last year against the Knicks. You go up to these big leads and then you can't finish. You need to put teams away because the Sixers have enough shooters where they can get back into games, especially when the Celtics go cold from the 3-point line. But we know how the Celtics operate. Anytime they try to shoot threes, they're going to go cold at points, and that gives teams chances to crawl back into games. Now, when they're making them, you're going to get buried right away. But over a 7-game series, you're going to shoot cold 1 night or 2 nights, and that could be the difference in the series ultimately.
Yeah, so I don't think the Sixers will win this series. Like I said, poor Joel Embiid, man. I know people have enjoyed memes and making fun of him for a long time now, but that article that came out where it was like 20,000 words, whatever it was basically a story. Really wish I could remember the reporter's name. He did such a good job with it, but he just detailed how hard Joel Embiid is trying to be healthy. And now we get to this spot. He's had some, ups and downs this season as well. And then he gets appendicitis. He has to get his appendix removed, and the poor guy just can't get anything right. But if he does get out there and the Sixers are flowing, Paul George has started to play good basketball again recently. I'm looking at the series price, and I guess what you would consider the zero line would be the Celtics at -2.5 games. You can get that for -175, or you can get the Sixers +2.5 for +150. So +150 for the Sixers to win 2 games in a 7-game series. What do you think of that?
I think it's more likely it's Celtics 4-1, but I could see Celtics 4-2 pretty easily. I'd rather take the +2.5 than the -2.5 for the price.
I view it very similarly. Let's move over and let's talk about the next matchup that we have here. This one's going to be a lot of fun. It's the New York Knicks against the Atlanta Hawks. So the Hawks, I don't know their exact record. You know what? I'll count it up right now because they were on fire to finish the end of the season. They had a stretch where they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 2 over the 21 games. Now they finished the season losing 3 out of 4, but they didn't really play their games in game 82. And they split with the Cavs, who are a good team. And then the other game was a 3-point loss to the Knicks, who they're about to play. So, they didn't just stop playing well. It's just it doesn't look as good at the winning streak. But if you add all those games together, they ended the season winning 22 out of 27. So, they come into the playoffs flying, but they're going against the Knicks team that went to the conference finals last year, experienced, probably got the better players overall, you would say, even if they didn't finish the season playing as well. But they did finish above them. They've been the better team over the course of the season. So how are you feeling about this one?
I mean, if you're looking at the series spreads right now, at least, I would say Atlanta Hawks plus 2.5 minus 220. I'd be willing to pay a little more for a 4-2, the chance for a series to be 4-2, because I do think the Hawks are ultimately going to be very competitive. The Hawks are a fun team. Like they really are. And I got to see them play against Boston early in the season live. Like, it was one of the best shooting nights I'd ever seen from a team in the NBA. Like, it was just unstoppable. Maybe that's because I had the Celtics minus 6.5, and I was like just watching it, fade before my eyes. But I love Jalen Johnson, what he's been able to do. I think the Knicks have the bigger championship game experience, obviously, and the Hawks are in a little different spot here, especially too in the post Trae Young era. But I think the Hawks are going to keep it interesting. I would take the Knicks in 7.
So on its face value, I would agree with you. I just don't know about the lack of experience, and I don't like overusing that word experience because I think it does get overused. But we're looking at the Knicks with the coaches. I mean, everybody in the starting 5 has legitimate playoff experience, whereas a lot of this is new for the Hawks. I guess Nickeil Alexander-Walker went to the conference finals with the Timberwolves. But like Jalen Johnson as the star, CJ McCollum's taking on a starring role, and he only just arrived a couple of months ago. After that, you're getting to Dyson Daniels and Big O and Onyeka Okongwu, and no offense to them, but I don't trust them to make big playoff shots. So I would actually lean more in the direction of it being like Knicks 4-1, 4-2. I think the games will all be close, but I just think it's that cutting edge I think belongs to New York.
Well, it's also really hard to play in the Garden too. That's another thing. It's going to be hard for them to win games on the road. So I could see that being the case. But you know what? The Hawks are a good team. Knicks are a lot better, I would say, but I still think the Hawks can keep it competitive. It comes down to if they make their threes. If any team makes their threes, they're going to be okay. And if they can do it on the road, if they can steal one on the road, I think this sets up for a pretty nice series.
The final series out in the East that we know of, all right, 15 seconds here. Pistons, Hornets, because we think the Hornets are going to win. What would you expect?
Cade's healthy now, right?
Yes.
So I'd lean towards the Pistons there. I think the Hornets are going to be pesky though. Like, I think that's a 7-game series, a 6 or a 7-game series. It's very competitive, but I still lean towards the Pistons as they're the team that's like they're that up and coming team that's also been here a little bit before. Like this is the second step of the process for them, where the Hornets are in the first step of the process.
It's a good way to break it down. I'm with you. And do keep in mind when the Pistons were in that first step of their process, they did go 7 with the Knicks in the first round last year. So I think it could be the same thing. I think it could be a 7-game series. Pistons win.
And you loved that series spread last year. I remember you were talking about that.
I'm glad you remember that. Yeah, it made me a lot of money.
2.5. Was it 3.5 or 2? It was 2.5.
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of those last year where I took a lot of teams at plus 2.5 in the first round and they won.
Mm-hmm.
Or they cashed the bet. The final series in the East, Cavaliers against Raptors. The Raptors, I believe, went 3-0 in the season series against Cleveland. With that being said, I think Cleveland's going to smoke them. You can get them for minus 2.5 games at plus 105, so they have to win 4-1. I could see them doing that. Would I bet it? Maybe not, but I would probably just be betting them on a game-to-game sort of basis. I think they're a lot better than Toronto. I think Toronto's a fake 5 seed.
Yeah, I agree with that. With that being said, when you do win games in the regular season, it gives you confidence coming into games like this. So that would be my only hesitation there. I hate betting 4-1 series spreads or minus 2.5 just because of the fact that you can get a team that's up, I don't know, let's say 2-0, right? Then they give one back. Then you're up 3-1, then you give one back. And you're still in the driver's seat, right? So you don't have to go all out effort in those games because you have a little more advantage there. That would be my biggest fear about betting these minus 2.5. But I do agree with you. I think the Cavs ultimately win this series, probably 4-1, definitely 4-2.
Okay, so we are in agreement there. Let's go out to the West Coast, which, again, the first round, I'm not sure it's going to be all that interesting. Why don't we start with the most interesting matchup? Let's go Lakers, Rockets in the 4-5. No Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves. I mean, the Lakers are going to be playing. Bronny James is probably going to be getting serious minutes in the rotation in the playoffs. You're getting -110, -110 on each side at the Rockets at -2.5. So basically, the sports books are telling you there's about a 50-50 chance it's either 4-1 or 4-2 Rockets. How are you seeing this one shape up?
I mean, I don't see a world where the Lakers can be competitive without Luka and Austin Reeves, but you have LeBron, so you have the greatness of LeBron. When you told me Bronny is playing meaningful minutes in the rotation, like you cannot win with Bronny playing meaningful minutes in your rotation. I don't think the Rockets are like the best team in the world by any means. I think they're beatable. But even if you had Austin Reeves and no Luka, or obviously Luka and no Austin Reeves, I'd prefer that. But I without Austin Reeves, without Luka Doncic, I think they can win one. I don't think they can win two necessarily.
This is tough for me because I was really, really low on the Rockets. They don't like each other. You can kind of tell they don't play as a team. They kind of just play as five guys out there on the court. I think they're limited in some of what they can do in the playoffs because Şengün can be inefficient. Amen can't shoot, even though I love Amen. Like, Amen is super fun to watch, but he can't shoot. So that creates problems in the playoffs. But the Rockets do play defense, and I just don't know where the creation is going to come from for the Lakers. Like, if you've been watching them ever since the injuries to Reeves and Luka, Luke Kennard has been their secondary playmaker. Luke Kennard, for his career, averages 2.3 assists per game. So he is not a creator by any stretch. But after that game where they got injured, he has 11 assists, then it's 9, then it's 8, and then it's 3, and then it's 1 in the final game, but he only plays 11 minutes because the Lakers don't really play their starters. But, like, he was legitimately creating for the offense. And then Marcus Smart came back, and he was that creator as well. And so I have no clue how they're going to match up against Houston in the playoffs. Ime Udoka is a good coach. I think JJ Redick is also a very good coach. So just off of the greatness of LeBron, I would give them 2 games, and I'd be rolling with that. But, like, can they win the series? I think it would be better for the playoffs if they could, because the Lakers with Luka and Reeves are better than the Rockets are. But I don't see how they get that done.
Well, it might be worth investing a little bit because there's going to be one upset. There has to be an upset. You look at what happened last year with like the Knicks and the Celtics, and obviously that was not first round matchup because the Celtics played the Magic. But you look at like a plus 800 series spread, or a plus 800 series money line. It can be done. So LeBron's greatness maybe gives them a couple of games here. Maybe it helps them win the series. I find it hard to believe they're going to be able to do it at this point in LeBron's career without Luka and without Austin Reeves. He can give you a great game. He can give you a great 2 games. Can he give you 4 games in a tight span that are flawless enough to beat a team, when you don't have any other stars with you?
The thing is, it would have to be even more than that, too. It would have to be like 5 or 6 of those flawless games, and they would still lose a couple of them just because that's the way that the playoffs go. So, I mean, if this was 2018, when Jeff Green was the second best player, yeah, he could have done it. I probably would have picked the Lakers in 5 or 6, but he's just not at that stage anymore. No. The next game up on the docket, let's go with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Rematch of the conference, would have been the conference semifinals a couple of years ago where it was just electric. They're constantly blowing each other out. They get to game 7. It's in Denver. The Nuggets are up by 20 points, and then the Timberwolves score like 30 straight, and they win the series. This one's going to be really fun. And maybe I'm starting to walk back a little what I said about the competitiveness of the matchups, because this one, I could easily see this being a 7-game series. The teams know each other very well. Tim Connolly, the Timberwolves GM, built the Nuggets and then went to the Timberwolves and built them to stop the Nuggets because the Nuggets were the finals champions. So this is a series that is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most in the first round.
There's one bet that you need to make in the series. You ready for it?
Let's go.
This is the greatest bet of all time. Not the greatest bet of all time, but the best bet you can find. Timberwolves plus 2.5 series spread, minus 165.
Wow.
That's pretty juicy.
Yeah, they just got to win 2.
Yeah, they just got to win 2.
I'm betting that as soon as we get off of here.
Yeah, I don't see a world where they don't win 2.
No,
I just don't see it.
Yeah, Ant is back. They've been playing. They've got bench production as of late. They've let Terrence Shannon Jr. play some more recently. He's given them some points. AO coming off the bench. has been playing well. They still got Mike Conley to calm things down. Yeah, I love that. I would definitely. There's no world in which this doesn't go 6.
Yeah, 6 is definitely what I'm thinking. They always find those gems. You always find those plus 2.5 gems. So I'm thinking that's the best play here. I think the Nuggets do ultimately win the series, but it's going to be Anthony Edwards can change the series by himself. So he's going to make it competitive.
I would take the Nuggets as well, but definitely Timberwolves plus 2.5. I love that.
Nice. Cool.
The 2-7. Let's go look at the San Antonio Spurs, who will be taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Congratulations to Portland for beating the Suns. You might have 4 games left in your season.
Yeah, for sure. Portland, Denny went off. I love my guy Donovan Clingan, but it's not gonna really end well here. So if I'm looking at the series spreads here,
I mean, you've got the Spurs minus 2.5 from minus 210. They're telling you there's a strong chance this thing ends 4-1, which means they might end 4-0.
Yeah, I'd be more than confident playing that too as well. More than confident playing, the minus 2.5 there. If I had to pick obviously it's minus 210, so you feel more confident, but that would be the one where I do think the series ends 4-1 more than any other series out there.
Yeah, if I'm picking a series, if you ask me which series ends in a sweep, I would probably take this out of every option.
Even though it's very hard to end in a sweep.
The final matchup will be between the Thunder and the Warriors or the Suns. Again, we're recording this on Friday. We both picked the Warriors to win that game. So we're not going to have prices, obviously, but how do you think a Thunder Warriors series ends? What's the score?
I mean, I think you can get 2. I do think, Steph can get 2. So I would say 4-2. Yeah, that seems to be that first round sweet spot is 4-2, and I think Steph can ultimately knock down enough threes to get it done. Worst case would be 4-1, but I do think it's 4-2.
I think it's 4-0 or 4-1. I don't know, man. The Thunder are just really good. Did you see, by the way, because the Warriors beat the Clippers, that the Thunder now get a lottery pick and they have a 10% chance of getting a top 4 pick?
That's crazy. That's insane.
Their dynasty might never end.
That's insane. That's wild. But with that being said, the Thunder are beatable. And nobody's gone back to back to win NBA championships in how long? A long time.
Since the KD Warriors.
And so it's very hard to go back to back. So I'm not saying the Thunder are going to win. It's probably the Spurs this year. Spurs probably.
I got the Spurs.
Yeah, you got to set it up for a Wemby championship, or at least get into the finals. Celtics win the championship. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's not going to be the Thunder this year.
All right. Well, whatever picks you guys have for the playoffs, make sure you throw them down in the comment section below. Again, subscribe because Tanner and I are here every single day, and we want you here with us. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. It's the number one way that you can support us. And if you want to see what we're up to when we're not in front of the camera, make sure you check out WSN.com. Tanner and I put out a bunch of written content over there. We break down all the big games, and we have thousands of dollars in bonuses for sportsbooks. So definitely check out WSN.com.
That does it for the episode of Ride the Line. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, and we will see you next time for another episode.